What is going on, Swoopers? Welcome back to another episode of Swoop Luke. In this episode, we'll be previewing today's clash against Hawthorn. So just before we jump straight into it, of course, be sure to follow me on all my social media accounts. You know the drill: Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. I'm pretty sure this is going up on Sunday, so if it is, did you enjoy that chat with Taylor Adams yesterday? I hope you were able to get your question read out, and I hope you were able to jump on and talk to him face to face. Again, Taylor, if you're watching, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it, and we all appreciate it, especially in lockdown, and just giving us that little bit of something to look forward to. And Swoopers, you know I'm doing all of this for you, and I'm glad I could make you happy that little bit during this lockdown and trying times. But in saying that, if you are a new swooper, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and if you are a returning swooper, welcome back. Thank you so much for rejoining us. Let's get into this preview. So, Hawthorn have been one of our bogey sides for God knows how long. You have to cast your minds not too much back, because it was only last year where we beat them for the first time in, I think, since 2017. This was the game that Will Kelly debuted in, and of course, it was the game that Will Kelly, injured himself in it, and we didn't see him, broke that collarbone, or no, it was a collarbone. Collarbone was Grimes. Oh God, he's had so many injuries, the poor kid. It was a fractured elbow, I'm pretty sure, right at the end of the game, which sucks. But he got his debut goal, slotting one from about 50 metres out. But in this game, we did beat Hawthorn 59-27. Hawthorn kicked 3 goals, 9. We kicked 8 goals, 11. So we were doing pretty well converting. Kept Hawthorn to a a very low sort of score. But it was a low-scoring game all around. Treloar had 35 disposals, not that it matters now. But he was pretty much our only sort of standout for the game. But also, Brody Mychek kicked 4 goals, 1. Take me back to when Mychek was kicking more goals than points. Nah, but seriously, I love you, Mychek. Just keep plugging away. You're doing such a good job. And Will Hoskin-Elliott kicked 2 goals. So look, in that game, there's not really much to write home about. It was just one of those games where we went through the motions, needed that win. So that's pretty much it. There's not really much to take out of it, except for, Will Kelly's probably, when he started his, injury curse during his seniors run, which absolutely sucks. And I'm willing to do arts and crafts or witches and brews to get this curse off him. And I'd rather have the curse than poor Will Kelly. In the lead up to this game, the form has been kind of the same going in. Hawthorn are sitting 17th. We're obviously sitting above them in 14th. But if you look at Hawthorn's last 5 games, they were able to draw. Now, mind you, they're the second last team on the ladder, but they were able to draw with Melbourne when they were on top. They've had some really big losses against, Freo, Port Adelaide. But last week, they beat the Lions by 12 points. And they only beat them by 12 points because the Lions decided to kick, I think, 7 goals in that last quarter. So Hawthorn dropped off a little bit, and the Lions were able to come back and get those sort of junk time goals. As for us, we've won 2 of our last 5 games, the Richmond game, and obviously that amazing win against West Coast. We can't, look, I know a lot of people have been saying that, okay, West Coast, they're not a high-pressure team, that's why they were letting us run over the top of them. Okay, cool, but they were also vying for a spot in the 8. Well, they got a spot in the 8. They were trying to solidify their spot in the 8, and we just kind of knocked them down a peg by playing some brilliant football that we haven't seen Collingwood play in so long. So if you go off those last games that we played, the Brisbane game that Hawthorn played and the West Coast game that we played, it should make for a very, very interesting game. A key area that we are going to look at, and it seems to be a key area sort of all the time when we verse a team, but Hawthorn are a really good tackling side. They're third in the AFL for tackles per game, and I'm pretty sure we're sitting about 15th in tackles per game. So Hawthorn apply a lot of pressure. They definitely apply a lot more pressure than the West Coast Eagles will. And, we don't apply too much, but, we didn't have to apply too much last week either because the Eagles were just really letting us waltz through that middle like we were, dancing through the Titanic that is the West Coast Eagles. Hawthorn as well are ranked first in handballs and third in disposals per game, and second in rebound 50s per game. So look, it tells me that Clarkson has got them playing this sort of not overly handball-y game, but they like to use their handballs to get out of that 50 and start that counter-attacking, and they also like to play with the ball a little bit and keep that sort of possession. Whereas, we're starting to do that a little bit more. So it's kind of like a tale of a mirrored team going up against each other tonight. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens, because if we're over possessing the ball, because Hawthorn are so good at tackling us, we are going to have to either be quicker with releasing the ball, or we have to revert to a sort of a kick and mark tactic, as opposed to high disposal and running through the midfield, unless we've got that corridor really open. As I said, being a mirror to Hawthorn's side, if you look at the kind of stats throughout the season, we're really closely linked. Now get this, right? Average points 4, 71 apiece. Average age, 23. Average games, 77 Hawthorn, 73 Collingwood. Average height, 189, 190 centimeters. Average weight, which is just weird stats anyway, 87, 88. So personnel-wise, we're pretty much the same, especially attacking, because we know that we played very defensive at the start of the season, so that kind of lowers our numbers. One thing against Hawthorn, though, is that they tend to let in a lot of scores. So their average points against is 90, whereas we're 77. We know we're a good defensive side. Even now with Robert Harvey, we can defend really well, especially with Jeremy Hale back in our back six. It really does help our cause. Maynard and Crisp going at it the way they do as well. It's really going to start with our midfielders. And I know that I say this all the time, but Grundy should be able to jump over the top of Segler pretty much. If we can get first hands to it, it will do well with, and because of the 6-6-6 setup at every centre bounce, Grundy, first tap, Adams, whoever it is, straight in, gives our forwards the best chance. And of course, Hawthorn have the same sort of thing, but they also don't have Brodie Grundy in their team. And I think that obviously Brodie Grundy is a better ruckman than Segler, in my honest opinion. So I think that the difference in this game, because we're so evenly linked, is going to be our clearance work, not only at centre bounces, but throughout stoppages as well. Last week against the West Coast Eagles, we scored a lot from stoppages and we scored a lot from turnovers as well. Bringing Bowen to the team, we only had one inside 50 tackle last week. We have to up that to at least between 15 to 17 now that Bo's in the team. Our forward line is going to be absolutely on fire. Jack Ginnivan, Bo McCreary in the same forward line. It's the stuff of dreams. It's the absolute stuff of dreams. So, segue straight into our ins and outs. So coming in for us is Bo McCreary. Trent Bianco gets omitted. You pretty much just call it a rest. He's been going ham. We love Trenner. Young kid, didn't have a preseason because of the injuries and stuff. Give him rest. He's been smashing it. Coming in for Hawthorn, Segler, like I said. Oliver Hanrahan, Jacob Kaczynski, their forward. Harry Morrison. So they've got a lot of outs, and Luke Bruce is their biggest out. But, they do get Kaczynski, their forward, back in. And obviously Segler, their ruckman. So, big call and predictions. I think Bo is going to kick 3 goals upon his return. Big call. We're probably going to beat Hawthorn by... God, I'm feeling a plus 30 win. Put that down. A plus 30 win by the Collingwood boys. So anyway, guys, this has just been my super quick preview of the game. I love doing these for you guys. Let me know if I can improve them in any way. If you're watching up until the end, I really do appreciate it. But definitely let me know if I can improve these, how you want these to go, what you want to see more of in these previews. As always, I do love you all, every single one of you. In the meantime, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, single shacker. I'll swoop you later.
Ooh la la.
And I'm pretty sure we're sitting. Let me just check. Because of how the 666 is set up, how we set up at or how the competition sets up at the start. Oh, fuck!